Welcome to the SI Academy, class 10th, chapter number 7, control and coordination. Okay, so next topic is what happens when reflex action. Okay, so here reflex is a word we use very commonly when we talk about some sudden action in response to something in the environment. Okay, when we are using the reflex means so sudden reaction in response to the changes in the environment is called as what a reflex. Okay, what is the reflex means? You can write sudden action in response to something in environment is called as what a reflex. What is reflex means? Sudden action in response to something in the environment is called as what a reflex. Okay, for example, we can give several example. We are responding a sudden action that called as what a reflex. Okay, we say jumped out of the way of the bus reflexly. Okay, when we are walking on a street, the bus is coming towards us, so we are jumped suddenly, that is also reflex. Or I pulled my hand back from the flame reflexly. Okay, I pulled my hand from the reflexly. Okay, it is also reflex. Or I was so hungry my mouth started watering reflexly. Okay, when we see our favorite food like pizza, burger, so our mouth starts watering, so that is also a reflex. These are all activities gives the example of what sudden reflex or a sudden action. So what exactly do you mean? So what is the, these are some example we can give that correct exact meaning of the reflex. What is the reflex meaning here? A common idea in all examples is that we do something without thinking about it. Okay, all these example like removing a hand from the flame, or when we see the our favorite food, so or mouth watering. Okay, and we are jumping from the street road while bus or a cycle comes to us. Okay, so these are actions are done without thinking. Okay, they are done by, they are done without thinking, they are done suddenly at that instant. Okay, at that time. So okay, so we are not thinking about it while doing it. Okay, or we are not, or without feeling in control in our reactions. Okay, we are doing this reaction without control as well as the without thinking it. Okay, it is at that time instant only they will done by our body without thinking and without controlling, they will done at that time only. And these are situations where we are responding with some action to change in our environment. Okay, here we are doing sudden reaction without thinking and without feeling. So we are doing because sudden changes in the environment, that particular that particular changes we are doing a response to it. Okay, whatever the changes in our surrounding, according to that we are doing a some action with sudden, without thinking and without controlling. How is the control and coordination achieved in such situations? Okay, we are saying that they are doing very rapidly sudden reactions. Our mind does not thinking it and we are not controlling it. That in this type of situations, how these actions are controlled in a controlled in our body, that have to discuss here. Okay, and which system will controls this type of actions. Okay, let us consider this further. So let us consider this further. Take one more examples. Touching a flame is an urgent and dangerous situation for us, or in fact for any animal. Okay, so for touching a flame or touching a candle, so it is a very danger as well as the urgent situation. So urgent situation means so both animal as well as the human beings. How would we respond to this? Okay, they are very danger and urgent means how we are responding to that means one similar seemingly simple ways to think consciously about the pain and possibility of getting burnt. Okay, so that touching a flame is urgent and dangerous means so we are thinking, we are consciously means what here the word consciously means knowing. Okay, the consciously meaning what knowing, we are knowing so that we touched the flame means it will give pain and also get burned. So we are consciously, we are knowing that, consciously meaning knowing, so we are knowing that if we touch the flame that will produce as what pain and burn. Okay, when we touch this flame, so when we touch this flame so or consciously in our mind it will tells that okay it is very danger and urgent, so it will gives the pain and burn. Okay, we already thinking in our mind. Okay, that is consciously we knowing about the consciously about pain and get burns. Okay, and therefore move our hand. Okay, see it will causes what pain and irritation, so our hand will be removed. Okay, an important question then is how long will take it us to think all this. Okay, so in our mind so it is a consciously we are knowing means we are thinking okay it will, this flame will get burns and pain it gives the pain and burns means how much it will takes time to think that it gives the pain and irritation. That question arises here. Okay, we are thinking in our mind that this flame gives what pain and burning of the skin means this thinking takes how much time. That is the main important thing here. Okay, the answer depends on how we think. Okay, so answer for that how we are thinking it. Okay, how we are thinking it if our impulse are sent around the way we have talked about earlier means the in brain, the information transferred to by which method we already know that what is that is the electrical impulse. Okay, we already know that the information transferred through the electrical impulse and they having also some disadvantage and limitations. Okay, we already know that. Then how these information transferring, okay, about earlier, then thinking is also likely to involve the creation of such impulses. Okay, that electrical impulse, these information transferring through the electrical impulse means there is a creation of electrical impulse. So that the creation of electrical impulse means it easily transports. So thinking is a complex activity, so it is bound to involve a complicated interaction of many nerve impulse from many neurons. Okay, these information is a transport of this electrical impulse means it is a collection of or a connection of different neurons and they will interconnected to each other and they will make a complicated network. So after that we can do the appropriate action. Okay, that is why we are saying the thinking is very complicated. In this case, it is no surprise that the thinking tissue in our body consists of dense network for intricately arranged neurons. Okay, so this much of complicated in our brain means they are very complicated as well as they having what a dense network because first they will collect the information and analyze and send means they require what network of dense. Okay, so it sites in the forward end of the skull and receives signal from all over the body. Okay, so this sites, this main part of the brain that sits inside sits in forward of the skull and receives the information from all over the body. Okay, that here what we said here that electrical impulse that collects the information and passes through the forward, so it is a forward part of the brain that so that passes through that part, okay, that all information from the body. So body which thinks about the before responding to them, whatever the information given by the that muscle cells or that body parts, they will collect, and after that it will thinks that what these are information, after that it will respond, okay. Obviously, in order to receive these signals, this thinking part of the brain in the skull must be connected to nerves coming from various parts of the body. Okay, the all information is coming from the different parts of the body, means the thinking part of the brain that must connected to the each and every part of the body. So they are connected with each and every part of the body, means it can easily collect the information, and it easily analyze, and that will finally respond it, okay. So the thinking part of the brain must contain each and every part of the body. So that means it will collect, and it analyze, and it will gives the appropriate response, okay. Similarly, if this part of the brain is instruct muscle to move, nerves must carry this signal back to different body part, okay. This nervous again connected to the muscles, and nerves gives the final job to do the muscle, means so the information must pass through the nerves to the muscle, okay. This also again goes to the different parts of the body. So here what is the point here? So first information is coming all over the part, and passing through the thinking part of the brain, and thinking part of the brain analyze, and doing the respond, okay. While doing the response, they send these signals or information to the muscles, okay. So the information passes through the muscles, means so these signals again passes through different parts of the body. If all this is to be done when we touch a hot object, it may take enough time for us to get burned, okay. These all are happening in our body while we touched the hot object, means okay, it will take enough time to, it will cause to burn us, okay. So this much of thinking involved in our body, means when we touch the hot object, that definitely causes to burn, okay. So that this type of problematic happens in our body, means then what type of system we are using when we are in the such type of situations, or in a danger situation. How does the design of the body solve this problem, okay. How this type of situation comes in life, or comes in means how our body will solve it, okay. Rather than having to think about to think about the sensation of heat, if the nerve that detects heat were to be connected to the nerves that to move muscles in a simple way, the process of detecting the signal or the input, responding to it by output action, okay. Here to be completely quickly, how this problem solved by our body, means instead of thinking the sensation of heat, okay, in say first earlier our brain will thinks that what is the heat, okay. The instead of thinking the body, so now our nerves will detect the heat, okay, and where to be connected, and nervous and the muscle cells, okay. Instead of thinking the heat, thinking that situations, but so now our nerves are detecting that a particular situations or a particular heat, okay. That nerves are now not thinking, they are detecting the heat, and that will detecting the signal, and passing to the thinking part of the brain, and that gives the what fast quickly result, okay. By what this becomes a very easy compared to thinking, okay. What did the how this problem solved by body, means instead of thinking, they our body detects the heat, for example in our while touching the what a flame. Okay, by touching the flame, that time they will not thinking about the get burnt and pain. By detecting the heat and they will send to the nervous, and the action is done very quickly by what detecting. Okay, such a connection is commonly called as what, a reflex arc. Okay, such connection is called as what, reflex arc. Okay, this figure figure 7.2 tells about what, this is the reflex arc. Okay, this is a diagram important for your annual exam, so that will ask for your 2 marks diagram. Okay, this is called as what, a reflex action diagram. Where should such reflex or connection be made between the input nerve and the output nerve? Okay, we now know that the sudden actions is are done by reflex arc means next question arises here. So where should be placed so that will do more quickly, the more quickly. So next question arises, sir, in between input and output, where it is exactly we have placed, we have to place so that again these actions are done quickly. Okay, where should such reflex or connection be made between the input nerve and the output nerve? The best place of course would be at the point where they first meet each other. Okay, in that place you have to in this particular place, or the best place for this reflex arc is where first time input and output meet each other. Okay, the reflex action is should be placed in which first input and output meet each other. Okay, that place is best for reflex action. Nerves from all over the body meet in a bundle in the spinal cord on their way to the brain. Okay, so the input is coming where in the spinal cord. Okay, they meet in the bundle of spinal cord. Okay, the bundle of spinal cord on the way to the brain. Okay, the all information goes to the brain first. They will reach where, spinal cord. Okay, the main part here, that is the spinal cord. In that spinal cord the reflex arc should be placed. Okay, reflex arc formed in this spinal cord. Okay, where it reflex arc is formed, is reflex arc is formed in spinal cord. It itself itself, although the information input also goes to reach the brain. Okay, here the reflex arc is formed in a spinal cord. Okay, these type of sudden situations, the information is passed through the spinal cord, and after that it also reaches to the brain. Okay, first will reaches to the reflex arc, after that these information also transfer to the brain. After the action is completed, this information is passed through the brain. Means first this information is passed through this reflex arc in a spinal cord, after that this information is reaches to the brain. Means first you will reach spinal cord in the reflex arc. Okay, after that it will goes to the brain. Of course, reflex arcs have evolved in animals because the thinking process of brain is not fast enough. Okay, this reflex arc is very important in animals because they are not thinking. Okay, their brain is not thinkable, or they are not things as human beings. Okay, this reflexes is very important in animals. Okay, in fact many animals have very little or none of the complex neurons network needed for thinking. Okay, that animals does not having a complicated neurons, they are not having, or they are having little bit, maybe little bit, or some animals does not having got thinking. So that time this reflex actions is very important for them. So it is quite likely that reflex arcs have evolved as efficient ways of functioning in the absence of true thought process. Okay, where the animals which does not have thinking thinking capacity or thinking thoughts, that situations in this particular actions or a particular situation, the reflex arc do best job, okay, for the animals which are not thinking. However, even after complex neurons networks have come to existence, reflex arcs continue to be more efficient for quick response. Okay, the reflex arc is doing best for those animals which are not thinking as much, but after the complex neuron formed in that also, that time also the reflex are doing more efficiently and accurately doing the response, such type of responses. Okay, if even if more complicated neurons are formed in the body, that time also reflex action doing a best job. Okay, so here this is our reflex action. Okay, so this completes our reflex action. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel and share and comment also. Okay, you want this previous videos, please check our playlist in our channel and also share with your friends. Thank you for watching.